No,
Or do you have something?
I wanted to say congratulations to Blake on his Emmy win.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did see that.
So, I mean, it's an honor to win an Emmy. I mean, for his podcasting on the episode of Vice.
Yes.
I mean, gosh, I don't know what I'm even doing here anymore. If he's winning awards for his podcasting.
I know.
Yeah.
Already won and it hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, it's like a Spaceballs move.
Yes.
When will
it
them
is.
be now?
Soon. Good job, Blake.
Yep. Just fast forward to see what the future holds. Hey, welcome back to Screen Time TV, a podcast where we discuss latest streaming, what we've been watching, a little game show called Based or Waste, and currently covering Last of Us Season 2. So, Jared, I made her talk. I thought it would be harder to do, but it wasn't. It was easy. I just kept hurting her.
What is that from?
Last of Us.
Is it from Last of Us? I don't know. For some reason, I went right to Murderbot. And I don't know why. I guess because we were just talking about it. But
So
that makes sense.
My name is Josh, and this is my co-host Jared.
I was completely off. My mind was on Murderbot. I don't know why. I do not have a quote, but I'm just going to say, wait, how do they say it in the studio? How do they chant it? Movies, movies, movies. There we go.
Right. Cool. So,
which is funny because it's a TV podcast, but it's all right.
We do both. We do both. All right. So, So speaking of, let's talk a little about what we've been watching.
Yeah.
Which,
no
you
feedback.
alluded to. Yeah, right. There's no feedback. Yeah. I didn't think there was. Leading right into the studio. So, we're going to talk about the last two episodes, which, the episode 9 was CinemaCon.
Yep. Got to hear your perspective, especially on that.
Well,
since you were there.
Just for that reason, I wore my
you sure?
my CinemaCon, if you can see, CinemaCon
If you're
t-shirt.
an audio listener, watch the YouTube video because
yeah, I mean it's
missing out.
not a fancy shirt. The back's got more on it than the front, but
I saw the back is sick. Yeah.
The front just says CC 25, because CinemaCon 2025. So the first there's episode 9, even though it's two-parter. It's called CinemaCon. When Matt sets out to throw the coolest party at CinemaCon, he backfires in psychedelic fashion.
Yeah, for sure.
So
what is the final episode called then? Because I know it is
the presentation.
Right. Okay. But yeah, you're right. It is like an hour type thing. The last two together. They go together.
It says to be continued even at the end of episode 9.
Yes, that's right. Because then, what's his name does the recap.
Yep.
And his like crazy. Dave Franco.
Dave Franco. Yeah.
Because he's doing it where he's like super high on all kinds of stuff, and recapping it, which I thought was great.
Yes, it was. It was because the only time they've done a recap, because most of them are pretty standalone. So
because it's what was he kept saying? An old school Hollywood buffet. Is that what the term? Yeah.
Yes, that was the term. It's not.
But it's like Dave Franco though. It's like, I guess he was on shrooms also, but it's like he seemed like he was on cocaine and maybe other stuff as well. He seemed like a mix of things.
Well, I think that was the point of the buffet. There was supposed to be other things.
I don't think that. Well, Sal, he carries around cocaine, but it's like I don't think that cocaine was just regularly available on the table. It didn't seem like because he gets from the girl the chocolate, which was our main kind of catalyst for what happens, and that's the shrooms. But then, I couldn't really tell what else was on that table for the
So, so this episode was great for that reason. Zoe Kravitz was amazing.
I love Zoe Kravitz,
and the fact that she's in the last 3 episodes, because she was in the Golden Globes one too.
I was happy that she was in it more than I thought she would be. Yeah.
So that was cool. yeah, her performance when she's high is great.
Especially when she's standing on the dresser or the
Yes.
the nightstand. She's like, it's too high. That's good.
The CinemaCon aspect of this. So
did they film while they were there, or did they?
no.
So they had to recreate it.
Well, so they didn't. I mean,
Well, I guess it was just
the
one.
part
It
that they
wasn't like the
recreated
whole-
was
yeah.
there's a couple times where you see them walking, like, and there's like these bigger backlit movie posters.
Right.
Those are legit, like what they have there.
Okay.
But then where
So
they
this-
were located was definitely not the section that was in Caesar's Palace.
But they still filmed in Vegas, though.
They definitely filmed a lot of the stuff in the Caesar's Palace.
Right, because the actual casino part, that was like
there
actually
was definitely parts that you were like, okay, that's Caesar's Palace. I recognize it, this or that. But that
the real Caesar lived here.
that auditorium they were using was not the auditorium.
Okay.
Now that might be another auditorium somewhere in the Caesar's Palace that I just I haven't seen but the one that they used for CinemaCon was the Coliseum auditorium. That's much bigger than that.
I was wondering about
It's
that
like,
because
it's like probably twice the size of
yeah,
that.
because it seemed. I mean, it's still a big room, but I'm
And like and a
imagining
little bit
what
more
you were
modern
at.
looking
Yeah.
too. That one had a
this
little
was
bit.
like an old
It
school
felt like
theater. Yeah.
And so that was definitely not the same theater, but anyway. And also that hall with the posters was like small and like barely what it looked in reality. It's like this giant hall with all these like.
But it was nice seeing all of the films that they like talked about.
So that was
The posters for,
but that was in the second when they actually did the presentation.
Oh, that's when they were walking. Yeah, yeah,
And then you mean like on those posters?
yeah.
Yeah,
Because
you're right. They were there. They were there. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. And that was in the first episode when they were walking in.
Okay. I mean, I watched them back to back because I saved them, so I don't remember exactly what was in which episode.
Well, it was everything leading up to before they actually presented.
The
It was the first
presentation,
episode. Yeah. So, and then of course, while they're there, they find out that they might get sold, and the presentation has to go off.
To Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the second episode called the presentation. If Matt's team doesn't pull off an amazing CinemaCon presentation, the studio will be sold to a tech company. Of course.
Which is just funny because this is on Apple.
Yeah, a
Like
tech company.
that's the
right.
like
And
the irony about this.
Well, the other thing is like they're definitely parodying Paramount with the Continental brand.
Oh, for sure.
And doesn't Paramount, did they sell off to Skydance or something? Anyway,
I don't know.
I don't know. But then the presentation was great as well. Like the way they end up pulling off, even though they got like this person's high, that person like, and Dave Franco had just been beat up and like he just goes out there and plays into it.
That was great
It's
because
crazy.
he nailed it
Yep.
and then
He passed
collapsed
out, yeah.
right when he's
And then Zoe Kravitz, pulled her thing out, and then they did the puppet show with
Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston's character. I
I
forget his name, but yeah. And
It was good how they did the because he just kept he kept like starting a sentence with movies and then so that was a very good way to play into him chanting. So
and then this was definitely another where because a lot of those presentations like it was just like kept as a one take. Like they kept because the camera would just follow because the camera would turn at the audience and turn back and go backstage and then go and then even one time it must have got handed off onto a jib.
Oh, you're right because it went
all the
really
way back into the audience and then back in.
Yeah, that's cool.
Again, all the stuff they've been doing in this from that perspective is always is crazy cool.
I saw something behind the scenes where they're mentioning the long takes that they do. They normally do like 12 takes of it or something crazy. So like, I mean, which is understandable, but it's like, man, I'm just wondering how long the production is because now going to season 2, like how long is it going to take to do it and then for it to come back? But
yeah, I would say a year.
Really? That quick?
Yeah, because like you do 12. I mean, if you're doing 12 takes of the scene, it's like a day.
Okay.
I mean, you do that in a day. So like,
right, and it's 30-minute. So it's in 10 episodes, 30-minute episodes, so not as long as like a full hour.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think in reality, doing that way probably makes it go faster. I mean, there's like more coordination.
And it seems like actors love that stuff. So it seems like all the people they got to come in probably had a lot of fun. So then it's like,
well,
hopefully we'll see a lot
do
more.
it as a play almost, like everyone's doing, instead of just
and actors love doing plays.
Yeah, well, just like they're all getting to perform at one time instead of being like, oh, you just stand there and I'm going to act and do a bunch of takes on this side, and then we're going to cut and do the opposite. Yeah, so I think you're right. So the studio still fantastic.
Yeah,
season 1 ended great.
Yeah, I honestly the only thing like I started to get annoyed with, even though I love Bryan Cranston and his character, but it was like too much, like what all happened to him, and kind of went on a little too long. Like that was the only thing I was just like at a certain moment, I'm like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, the weekend of Bernie's him.
Yeah, and like when he's out at the waterfall or whatever anyway, but because what
the gondolas and
yeah, there you go. Yeah, because what he does actually on stage at the end, like I mentioned, like that was really good, and how they did that and playing into the chanting, but all that leading up to it, yeah. Anyway, that's the only thing I was just like, it was a lot, but still, yeah, really, yeah, I had a lot of fun with this season. I thought it was great.
Yeah. All right. So that's on Apple TV Plus. We've mentioned it practically every week.
Yeah.
And now it's gone for probably a year.
If it's only a year, like that's amazing. 'Cause it's like I feel like no show, like hardly any shows except for The Bear, which is coming up again. It's like most stuff takes longer than a year. Sometimes it takes up to 3 years. Like Severance.
Well, that was a different reason.
Yeah,
there was a writer strikes and stuff in there.
Yeah,
they held it up. I think it'll be 2 years. Like most stuff is 2 years if it's longer. But I want to mention a movie called Nanas on Netflix.
Yeah,
Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, I have not watched it, but our parents watched it.
Yeah, that's because I told them to watch it, and they really liked it.
They mentioned it to me.
After losing his beloved mother, a man risks everything to honor her by opening an Italian restaurant and actual grandmothers as the chefs.
Nice.
Yeah, this was actually the film was great. It's very touching. It's based on a true story, and this restaurant really exists.
Okay.
In Staten Island, a real guy did this.
Awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, it's good. Vince Vaughn's good. It's not like overly hilarious, but it's cute and funny and touching. And then, crap.
See, I like when Vince Vaughn goes full Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, it's not full Vince Vaughn.
I figured. Yeah.
What's the lady?
I'm assuming it's a lot of older actresses in it, right? Because of all the grandmas.
Yes. No, I don't know if any of them look familiar, but the love interest for Vince Vaughn was what's her name? That's she is Hawkeye's wife in the movies.
Hawkeye's wife.
Yeah. Like yeah.
Linda Cardellini, something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She plays
she's great.
And she's always great too. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Italian.
So that's on Netflix. Yeah, you gotta cast somebody that's at least Italian-ish.
Yeah.
Italian American.
That's Netflix?
That's a movie on Netflix, yeah. Also on Netflix, I started watching and watched the first 2 episodes. Bad Thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
This showcases a series of vignettes where the stories unfold in a hilarious, disturbing way. This is the premise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this looked interesting. I have not checked it out yet.
It did look interesting.
Uh-oh.
I thought it was dumb.
Okay.
Barely funny at all. It was just stupid stuff. And so, I, gave it this, even to the second episode, I was like, well.
Yeah, you gave it enough. Yeah.
And then it still was like, there was a couple moments that I was like, oh, that's kind of funny. But most time it was just really, like the stuff that like you're like a 12-year-old could have came up with this. Like it wasn't really that clever. And so.
I mean, I'm not really a huge fan of that guy anyway. I forget his name.
I was not aware of him anyway.
I think he's a comedian.
I'm sure he is.
But the show looked interesting. I was going to check it out. But maybe not.
then I watched in the theater. Watched Lilo and Stitch, the live action remake, which I think we're all familiar with. This a lonely Hawaiian girl befriends a runaway alien, helping to mend their fragmented family.
Yeah.
So the premise works in both ways, but they changed this one up enough that, like, yes, that's the same, but like otherwise, like, it's not the same.
Okay.
So the story is different, and it was good. It was cute.
So it's not
funny.
just a remake of the.
Correct. It was like, let's take the same idea, but it had what's up? Well, I can't think of people's names today.
It's okay. You had a week off of podcasting, so you gotta.
Yeah, and all I did was like learn like stuff.
Right.
It was at a conference.
Working, Hawkeye's wife.
No. No. The guy from
yeah, so you give an example, I'll be able to guess it. Maybe.
Yeah, no, I know you're gonna know this. So from the Hangover.
Okay.
The
Bradley Cooper.
No, Zach Galifianakis.
There you go. Okay.
He's in it.
Cool. Okay.
As one of the aliens. He voices the alien when he's an alien, but then also the two aliens that go down to try to get the Stitch back, and of course they have like little things that disguise him as a person, human. Mm-hmm. So once it's just him playing himself.
Cool. But
then he voices the alien when it's not him.
Who is our main two? Lilo and Stitch. Who is?
I don't know who voices Stitch.
Okay.
Because he doesn't talk very much. Lilo's like some little kid actress that like I've never
not
seen.
Recognizable. Though.
And even the plays her older sister, not recognized her either.
Anytime a Disney movie's like this, though, if it's someone you don't recognize, like they're going to be huge now. From
right. And they
Disney.
might already be like,
right?
Oh, you were already in a Disney streaming show, and now you're like in like some teen show or something, And then
I mean, that's where a lot of our biggest came from. That's where Zendaya came from.
Yeah, I mean, no, I know. Yeah.
It's like there's so many.
And I mean, she did fine, but then the little girl was cute, and the older sister was good. I mean, from an acting standpoint, it was good. It just, yeah. And then even there's like the neighbor surfer dude that like he I don't know, I've never seen him before. There was like his aunt or something, whatever, a little older lady that was also a neighbor.
Mm.
She looked familiar, but I don't know, like I know she'd been in other things in a smaller role. But yeah, like there's not really a lot of recognizable people for me, at least. But it was a fun movie, and Kirsten liked it, so
good.
Yeah. All right, and then last but not least is the other one, Murderbot on Apple TV Plus.
Yep, this is my other one. Yep.
So a security android struggles with his emotions and free will while balancing dangerous missions and desire for isolation, evading detection of his self-hacking as he finds his place. So I don't know. I've been talking. What have you thought of the show?
Yeah, well, this is another one I was looking forward to and was excited that Apple was going to do it. And I became familiar with this just like other sci-fi from our dad. Mm-hmm. He's a huge fan of these books, especially. He talks about them a lot. And I remember sending him the trailer to this. And from the trailer, he was like, oh, it looks pretty faithful to the books. And I'm like, okay, good. I need to get his full thoughts on it, though, because he's like read all the books. Mm-hmm. In this, I saw in the credits, it's based on, I need to ask him what this book is specifically, because it said, like one, I don't know if it's the first book in the series or not, but anyway, I'm mixed on it because I like the visual. I'll start with positive because the visuals and the world is awesome in this, mm-hmm. and everything looks so good. But some of the dialogue feels extremely forced to me, and I didn't like. But I mean, other moments too, like Alexander Skarsgård though, mm-hmm. is great as so like that whole thing works, which is good because that's our main character. So I think it was some of the stuff because again, I've only seen the first episode, so I don't know if it gets better. But it was in this pilot. There were some moments with some of the other characters that I just thought was, I don't know, could have been better. But that's my main thing with it. But I'm still gonna watch this for sure because our main thing is still great in this. Anyway, that's it. I was gonna say the other person, David something. That actor is great. He was Polka Dot Man. He's been in a lot of things, but I like that actor. He's one of the people that I recognize. I didn't really recognize anyone else. But yeah, what do you think of?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fun. I think I get what you're saying. Some of the other dialogue with some of the other characters, but yeah, Alexander Skarsgård and his like inner monologue is fantastic.
Yeah.
Which is like half of the thing. You know, like it's half the time he's always talking to himself about the humans and about what he's got to do and what he's dealing with emotionally, and it's, you know, his like existential crisis on like dealing with who he is because he has free will all of a sudden because he hacked his thing. Like all that's great, and then like you said, the world building kind of like it's so weird but also great. Like
it's cool.
It's a different. It's not like.
Oh, also the other thing I forgot to mention was the show he watches is great too.
Yeah, there's a main one, but there's different ones. Others, he cuts the other ones, and
because that's a big thing with the books too. Is he's like binge watching stuff. Like he goes through,
but then they recreate those enough to like create those scenes because he'll show them sometimes. Because he even like he like pulls lines from him to say to the humans, and because I've watched the first 3.
Oh, that's right. There's 3 now. Okay.
And then like one guy was like, "Where did you come up with that?" And he's like, "Oh," and then like, of course, in his interview, like he's like, "Well, actually, I got that from episode blah 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 blah." Like, but he was like, "Oh, it was my programming on this and that." And like he has to try to cover up because he doesn't want them to know he's free. But yeah, it's been good, but. Yeah, and there's a certain like a little bit of, I would say there's a little bit of cheesiness to even like the world, but like in a good way. Like it's just like campy a little bit, and I think but that kind of fits like the whole tone.
Definitely,
yeah, but yeah, it's fun.
It is, yeah.
And they're short. They're like it's almost like more like a sitcom or a comedy from a like lengthwise. I shouldn't say sitcom, but
no, but it's it's half an hour. So is episode 2 and 3 like is it about the same, or how is it compared to the first episode?
Yeah,
that's all I watched.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they all kind of flow well, and similar. Yeah, because he interacts. One of the episodes, it's like him stuck with the other like kind of technical guy that's like has some augmented stuff, so he can.
Oh, I think that's the guy I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, and so then they kind of like face off a little bit, and it's kind of funny. But he's the only one that doesn't like. He's kind of more. That guy's more suspicious of the murder bot, as what he calls himself, because really he's called a sec unit. Yeah, security unit, but yeah. But yeah, it's a good show. I recommend it. Apple TV Plus.
I want to get full thoughts from our dad, since he's the one that knows the source material so well. And then just a little bit of news. Okay. Breaking news. Oh, breaking news. Actually, it happened, but I wasn't here last week. Okay. Max is going back to being HBO Max. Oh, yeah. So they're putting HBO back. So we won't have to call it the one to watch for HBO. Good. I refused to. I was in protest against that from the start. I always just called it HBO. Yeah, I know. But I don't know why they ever changed it in the first place. But I'm glad they're going back. I don't know if you noticed that the icon already, like sometime a month or so ago, they went back to like it being a dark gray and everything, and not the Max and the purple word, or whatever, right? And the word Max, and now it's like embossed like the old HBO, like, but it still just says Max. It doesn't say HBO Max, but it looks more like the HBO logo now, but just as a Max. Trying to make it as friendly as possible to transition back, like kind of. Well, I don't know if you saw, like, they even when they announced it,
they were making fun of themselves, even on like with memes and stuff on their own channel.
That's good.
So they had
self-aware.
Humor about it, which was great.
Okay.
But yeah,
I mean, that's good because they knew that, probably partially because they knew they were going to get roasted for this anyway.
Yeah,
so they're like, well, we might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I just had to mention that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that I forgot that happened. Yeah. So it's HBO.
Right. Well, it's time.
Yes.
It's time for Based or Waste.
Welcome back to Based or Waste. Blake did Based or Waste last week. I did a mix of movies and TV because he's the first time he did it. So I don't remember what we did last. So we're just whatever there was more new stuff of. So we're doing movies.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't remember.
Well, I just have to say,
Yeah.
you kind of let them off easy.
Did I?
I think all the ones that I was like listening to it, I'm like, I know what that is. I know what that is. I was like, these are easy ones. I would have gotten 100. I would have gotten 10 out of 10 on that one.
Well, we'll see with this one. I wanted to make sure it was stuff that he was familiar with.
Yeah.
Because he's not. I don't think he has as much broad like. He doesn't watch as much stuff as like you and I. So yeah, some of them for sure were easier, but yeah, I think he only got one wrong.
I think so.
Yeah, but anyway, so this is Based or Waste. We go off of Rotten Tomatoes, check and see what's trending, and we go by the audience score of TV shows or movies, and I pick 10 of them, and Josh is going to guess if they're good or bad, if they're Based or Waste. Yeah, we'll see how you do with this.
All right.
I mean, I think it's all ones you know or familiar with at least. So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. First one is Final Destination Bloodlines. This is a big hit.
I'm going to say based.
Yes, 88. Yeah, I'm surprised how well this is done.
Well, I mean, I saw an extended clip at CinemaCon.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
But then I also seen the trailer, and yeah, I mean, I don't even like these kind of movies, and it got me wanting to see it.
I have nostalgia for them for sure, but it's crazy. Well, I'm just surprised it's doing so well because the last one was like over 10 years ago, I think. So like that's awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna check it out. All right, Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Let me make sure. Yeah, because we're also gonna do a different. Yeah, this is The Final Reckoning.
Which is the newest one.
Yeah, that just came out.
I'm going to say based.
Yeah, 92.
Which we're going to see it tomorrow, so we'll report.
Yeah, we will.
Next week.
Next week, yeah. We'll talk about it. All right, this is one you just talked about, Lilo and Stitch.
Also based.
Yes, 93. These are easy ones with Disney. Even if it's something like Mufasa, which I can't believe that was rated high. All right, this one I'm not sure if you're aware of, but I'm looking forward to this. This movie's called Friendship. And it's the guy from I Think You Should Leave, which he doesn't do much, but I love that actor. And this is a movie that he's in with Paul Rudd, and it looks awesome. So,
and it has is it out already?
I mean, it has an audience rating, so I'm assuming
Yeah.
enough people saw it at least. So,
I mean, I guess I'm gonna say based.
because it's you know what I'm talking about though, right? The
No.
guy from I Think You Should Leave.
I've never watched I Think You Should.
Oh man. Okay. Well, yes, it is based 83.
I mean, Paul Rudd is a pretty sure thing with the fans.
Yeah,
People.
but this other guy, he just doesn't do a lot of acting. So I'm excited that he's in a movie. But yeah. Sorry, I'm blanking on his name, but people know what I'm talking about. All right. Havoc.
Mm.
on Netflix. The
I'm gonna say Waste.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Is this also Guy Ritchie? He's done a lot of movies.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Waste.
You're right.
Yes.
36. Yeah. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Have you seen this?
No, but it was on my list to check out, and then I started hearing bad things,
Okay.
and just I was like, got moved to the like maybe sometime if I have time.
Well, maybe it's one of those at least because the action looks sick in it at least. So maybe
Right,
it's just
which
like
is why it's still like, hey,
Yeah.
maybe I'll watch it.
I guess the
sometime.
story is really bad because it can't be this low from. Anyway, I don't know. The action looks good. All right, now we're gonna do Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, which is the last one.
Part 1.
Right? Yeah.
They
part
were
one.
part 1 and 2. But
Yeah,
now
they
just
changed the
have
name.
names.
Yeah.
I mean, still gonna say it's based.
Yeah. 94.
Oh, it's that higher than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, we'll see. I did this a few days ago. Especially the new one. I bet the score is going to change a lot just because it's
Yeah.
just came out. But yeah, 94. What was the other one? 92. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like to me, that one was a misstep a little bit from the last several.
Oh, I agree because Fallout is like one of the best.
Mm-hmm.
Like that one's so good. And that was the one right before it, right? Yes.
The names like start
Yeah,
to-
because that was like 2018 or 2019. So it had to have been.
sure.
I don't know.
Yes, Fallout is one of the better ones.
Yeah, Fallout's sick.
I mean, they're all pretty good. Like,
Well, not the second one.
yeah, that's what I say, except for the second one.
Third one I think is underrated. I watched that again.
That was the Abrams one.
Yeah, but Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, yeah, and Philip
is
Seymour
amazing.
Hoffman is the bad
He's
guy,
amazing in it. Yeah.
and J.J. Abrams is directing.
Yeah. Is that the only one he did?
Mm-hmm.
Is that one? Okay.
Yeah, and then Brad Bird did the fourth one.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's the one.
Is that
where-
Rogue Nation or Ghost Protocol?
I
get
think
this
it's
mixed up.
I think it's Ghost Protocol. I think
Then Rogue Nation. Then Fallout.
it's the one where he jumps off the building in Dubai.
right.
That's the fourth one, and that's the one Brad Bird directed. And then Christopher McClory took over, and
yeah.
then he's done them all since.
Yep. All right. We have 4 more. Perfect score. See how you do with these. This one I'm wondering if you watched or not. You probably did. Fountain of Youth.
I have not watched that yet.
Oh, okay.
It just came out this weekend.
Oh yeah, it did just come out.
It came out on Friday.
Oh yeah. That's right. This just came out. But
It's-
yeah, this is a straight to Apple, right? Straight to Apple?
Yes.
It wasn't in theaters.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to say based.
No.
Really?
It's 47.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, it's got Natalie Portman and, Jim from The Office,
Mm-hmm. John Krasinski.
John Krasinski, and then
Also has my girl,
yeah.
Isaac Gonzalez.
yeah, Isaac Gonzalez is
Yeah.
in it, and what's the director?
Also, I think Guy Ritchie, right?
I
Or someone like them. I don't know. He's done a lot recently. I thought it was Guy Ritchie.
think it's somebody else, but
Anyway, the premise is kind of ridiculous for it, but it looks
it's like
Fine.
it has that almost like I don't know, at least from the trailer, it felt like a little bit of Indiana Jones, a little bit of what's like
National Treasure.
National
That's
Treasure.
a big
what,
thing,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. National Treasure.
yeah. But also Indiana Jones. So yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really surprised. What's
Yeah.
what's it called again?
Fountain of Youth.
That's right.
Because they literally are looking for the Fountain of
Yes.
Youth.
Well, I mean, it's the MacGuffin of what.
Yeah, of course. They have to have something like that. It's no different than the Ark of the Covenant. For
Oh,
like
you're right. It is Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, he's done a lot because I feel like it.
It was more the writer James Vanderbilt
Okay.
that wrote Independence Day, Zodiac.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like
Well, that's crazy. If he did those and then did this, and I don't know though. I mean, I can't trust audience scores anymore
yeah.
because they've been weird lately. But at least they're more accurate than critics. That's why we go with them for this.
This is true. All right.
All right. Well, this is another one you did watch, Nanas.
Oh, based.
Yeah, 74. All right. Then our last two. A little bit of nostalgia, but very relevant. Final Destination 1, which is just called Final Destination.
Well, that's got to be based.
Yes, 68.
Okay.
That one, the first two are the ones I have the most nostalgia for, and I might have to revisit them, but because I do want to watch the new one. I don't remember what the other ones after it. But then our final one is, I think, the last one they did before this new one, which is Final Destination 5.
I'm going to say waste on that one.
Correct. 53. Yep.
There's a reason they took a break.
Yeah. But it's like these kind of movies, normally as they go, they get progressively worse.
Yeah.
For sure. So, but then they came back strong, apparently.
Well, then they take a long break and then they find somebody that actually has a creative, normally like a good idea on how to bring it back, and then they bring it back. They did what, like the Scream, like this, the Scream movie, like when they redid that one.
Yeah. Is this one? Did they get like the original? I don't remember who was the original person that did Final Destination, but did they bring him back?
I don't know.
I'm wondering about that. All right. Well,
9 out of 10.
Yep. Still very good. Okay. Good job, Josh. Still came out strong. Having
Take
a
that,
week off.
Blake.
Yeah, take that, Blake. I'm going to send this to him. We're going to revoke your Emmy. All right. That has been Base for Waste. We will be back to TV next week, so tune in then.
All right. So let's get into Last of Us Season 2. So I can do some quick thoughts on episode 6 before
Yes, I would like to know what
the price.
Yeah.
I thought that episode was really good. That was fantastic. Really filled a lot in from Joel's perspective.
Yeah.
I think because even the early stuff when he was still alive, we were getting it mostly from Ellie's perspective. And so this fills in, and I thought that was really also a good storytelling way to do it. Love the opening scene with him as a kid.
Yes.
His dad, and that actor from Better Call Saul playing his dad.
Oh, yeah.
Loved him. He was always great. I loved the parental dynamic and the progression from like where she's more like a kid just trusting, doing whatever he wants, to like the rebelliousness, and then the shift over to and just kind of the really show, like, did a good job, even though it's a short, I mean, we're dealing with it in a condensed, like they're jumping a year, whether they start when she was 15 or 16, whatever, and going a year, next birthday, birthday. And really showing, like, you know, it doesn't matter how much you care and how much effort you put in, eventually they're gonna push back and rebel, because it's just how we're designed as human beings, right? Because that's what wants us to leave the nest and kind of become our own person, right?
Well, that's why I mentioned on the pod I wanted to get your perspective, because Blake and I were talking about it, and it's like we're not dads, so so you have that perspective. You have a better perspective.
Yeah. And then I thought the comment though was like all at once, and he made that comment, which was funny because it was like when she was like 17 or 18, I don't know, whatever it was. Because their 16th one was when they go to the museum with the dinosaur and then the space stuff, and that, of course, that moment was awesome, and that scene was awesome. Even the way they shot that, where like, yeah, she put the headphones on, and then like it went to her front face, and it kind of got dark and started rattling like she really was taking off. And
yeah, this is
really, really well done.
That's like one of the big moments from the game that is almost like created one-to-one. Like this.
Right.
But I mentioned on the pod that Neil Druckmann, this was the episode he directed, so it also makes sense. You know, the creator of the game did, I think, probably the strongest episode of the season. So
Yeah, one of them. Yeah, I mean, obviously, episode 2 was pretty
of course.
pretty ridiculous.
That one was directed by, I want to say, someone pretty big too. Is it Mark Mylod or something? Was it
not the guy that created?
No, it wasn't Craig Mazin. No, not for that one. But
No, the guy that's the showrunner.
oh, is Mark Mylod the showrunner
No.
of the whole series? Oh, I don't know.
No, I was saying the guy that's showrunner. He also wrote and created the
Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Craig Mazin.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he's the one who directed that episode.
I don't know. I thought it was someone else, but anyway, it's. I think.
I mean, they basically both of them got to pick probably one episode to direct.
Yep.
Each of those guys, and
Yep. But yeah,
the only other comment was like, the only negative I think in here is Bella Ramsey. Like, just the problem with these jumps is it really shows her inability to change her acting, for lack of a better word, and show the maturity that she should be, like growth that should be happening over time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we touched on all that too. So I'm glad you agree.
Yeah.
It wasn't just an echo chamber of Blake and I.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's unfortunate because, yeah. All right, well, let's get into the final episode of season 2, episode 7, Convergence. Amid the battle between Seattle's warring factions, Ellie's search draws her toward a devastating confrontation. So what did you think of this episode?
Not great.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty bad finale. Now, I'm curious what you'll think of it, but I know like this isn't the whole story. So I was already like, how are they going to end this season? Like it's going to feel incomplete just because it's like half of the story. Or I would say even less than half, but there's a lot of stuff they could add in. I guess maybe if they are going to do a 4th season even, I don't know. But yeah, just the way they ended it, especially the final scene, was very weird. Very weird place to end it. There's also a couple of scenes in this that just seemed, at least one scene that felt like pretty pointless too, which was weird.
Yep. No, I think if it's the same one, I have a note about it.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. But it's just, yeah. So I was disappointed, just because, especially from last week's was, I think, one of the best of the season. I've been pretty mixed on this season overall. I think you have too. So it just sucks that the finale, you wanted to go out strong and it didn't feel strong at all to me. But yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, kind of where you're at. I mean, I think just another kind of messy episode from like a plot. And I think we've had those in the middle too. So, yeah. And yeah, I think it's a little disappointing. I mean, we'll get to it, but the ending is a little like, I was like, oh, okay. But, yeah, so let's get into it. So we open with Jesse pulling the arrow out of Dina, but he pushes it through, not pulling it out. And of course he makes note that she won't take a drink. And that's kind of obvious. And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Then Ellie kind of gets back to the theater, and then she has her moment with Dina, and she shares what we all know now that she knows, that Joel, of course we knew kind of a little bit before that, because she was like, yeah, I know, when what the lady down the spores told her, but she reveals to Dina that Joel massacred everybody to save her in Salt Lake City, including Abby's father. And Dina, definitely does not like it. and kind of just like, we need to go home. She kind of turns away. And then it says third day in Seattle. And her and Jesse, Ellie and Jesse, are going to go find Tommy. And he kind of, says, makes some comments about her being selfish. And then they're arguing, and he guesses that Dina's pregnant. And then we get that reveal for him. And then, and these are the moments where it's like, I don't know what the game was like, but like, then they have that little scene where there's like some of the wolf soldiers with one of the Seraphite kid, and she wants to intervene, and it's like, she's so impulsive, and like almost to like, it's like she wouldn't be that dumb.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that irritates me. Like, she continues to be that dumb, and the way they write it is like, and I don't know if that's how the game was, or it's kind of steering away from the game, but from my perspective, like someone who, like, she's still acting like she was in the season 1. Sometimes in that season 1, she was 15 or whatever. It's like, now if you lived that long, been training for years, and learning from Joel, learning from even some of those guys we saw her getting trained, and going on patrol and all these things, like, yeah, you might have one moment but like in a moment there where you don't even know the guy and be like wanting to go just stupid about it and take a big risk, like, it just doesn't seem right in the character, and just doesn't seem right.
I agree. Yeah. I mentioned this already. It is different than how she is in the game. Like, she is way more grown up and competent because she had to be, because of everything that happened to her. Like, so it is better portrayed in the game for sure. Yeah, I'm not sure why they're doing it this way in this show though. And yeah, so part of it is how they're writing her, but then part of it is also the way she looks, and going through all these years. Even in last week's episode is a perfect example of seeing, there's only so much they can do with her as an actor to get it right. And I don't know. Yeah, it is. I think that's the worst part about this adaptation, especially at the end of this season.
Yes, Jesse stops her. Then we get a brief thing with Isaac and the other leader. I didn't write the name down because I can't remember. Arguing about Abby missing and a couple people from her crew haven't been around. And he's like, well, she was supposed to be the replacement leader of this, of the whole group. And he's like worried, I guess, if they die, then they need her to take over. Just kind of like, they don't have anybody else. Even if she's a natural leader, like, it's something like there's got to be some other second in command people that could step up. But
yeah, well, this is the difference too, because he has to kind of go in and say like how she's like, Abby's basically a killing machine. But this scene, he doesn't really say all this in the game, but that's because this is the difference in choices of like I told you, Abby is like very tall and buff in the game, so it's like you already know like her force. Now the actress that's playing her in this still does a good job, but it's like she just looks very different. So I guess that's why he has to kind of explain like how good Abby is, and like, yes, she needs to be the leader because she's like the best at all this. I don't know. So
yeah, it felt a little forced.
Yeah,
there. So they make it to Tommy and Jesse's hideout, and then Tommy's not there, but Jesse shares about when he loved someone from a passing group, asked him to join him to go to Mexico, but he stayed for the loyalty of the community.
So my only note, which I think happens around here, is I love the book that Ellie picks up because it's very, very nostalgic to me because I used to read this Grover book all the time. It's a monster at the end of this book. I guess it's probably some kind of double meaning with like the story in some way. I'm sure that they're put it in there for that reason, but
Yeah.
anyway, but I just
No,
yeah.
I had a note.
You do too? Okay.
Well, because I also read that when I was a kid. A lot.
I didn't know if you did as much as me. I did like so much. I love that book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's the one we read a lot.
Yeah.
And then I remember reading it to Lucas a lot too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So then they get the message on the radio about a sniper, and so then they kind of head up looking around and to get to the roof or whatever, and he's like, yeah, it's coming that direction, and she sees the aquarium and the what are those things called? The
Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel, yeah.
Yeah.
And then that made her understand the whale and wheel code that she got. So she's like, that's got to be where Abby is. And so then, of course, she gets locked in again and can't do anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Jesse, in a argument with her, admits that he even voted against her going because he thinks what's best for the community. And of course, then she's like, F the community. I watched my community get tortured in front of me. So they decide to split up. Jesse goes to find Tommy while Ellie heads to the aquarium. And then she kind of gets down close to the docks and sees the WLF getting a bunch of people together to attack the Seraphite Island. I guess there was an island. These things that they don't really tell us, but
I know, but yeah, I mean, you see it later in the game. I don't know if they're going to show it in the show, but yeah.
Once they leave, there's still a boat left, so Ellie jumps in the boat. And then this is the part that I was like, why did this happen? She gets shipwrecked onto the island first, so she can get taken momentarily by the Seraphites, and then they hear the attack happen on the town, and they drop her and leave her, and she gets back in the boat, and then hits the aquarium.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And you're like, why did that happen?
I don't know.
And then there was definitely nothing to motivate that, to give it even reason.
No, because they were already going back to the island anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know why she had to temporarily, go there. Yeah, I don't know.
Makes no sense.
Nope.
Just pointless.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually she makes it to the aquarium. And she, again, and this one is like, I'm like, why? So she's sneaking around, but with the light on. And I'm like, why are you walking around with the light on? And then you're so easy to spot coming. And then when she finally gets to a certain point, she's like, oh, I'm going to turn the light off. And then I don't understand. I mean, other than just for like, hey, it looks cool visually. Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I mean. It's just like the choices with her character in this. Like, she would not be this like bad and not like she would be very tactile, like tactical, and like just in these situations because she had to do it so much, and that's how she's in the game. So it's just it's weird, the choices they're doing. I don't know.
Then she stumbles upon two of Abby's friends, Owen and Mel.
Yeah.
And then she demands them to show her on the map where Abby is.
Yeah, this is the Joel trick.
Yep.
That she
learned from him.
Yep.
But of course, as Owen finally says he'll do it, and then he goes to grab the map and he grabs a hidden gun, so then she shoots him really quick. And well, she also ended up hitting Mel too with the second bullet. And then she reveals that Mel's pregnant and asking, should I get Ellie to save the baby? But Ellie's like too in shock, whatever, and she can't do anything about it. And then Tommy and Jesse arrive to bring Ellie back to the theater. And then agreeing to return home, Ellie thanks Jesse for rescuing her again, because she thanked him already earlier for the first time.
Yeah.
And they reach a mutual understanding. And they overhear some commotion, rush out, and Jesse gets shot. Which we assume he's dead by Abby. And
he was in the head.
I know.
So.
I know. I'm saying, but like you don't really know because it's so quick.
Sure, yeah.
And Abby's there, and she's getting ready to shoot Tommy, right? Yeah, Tommy.
Yep.
And then at gunpoint, Ellie surrenders, begging Abby to let Tommy live. She tells Abby that she's the one that killed her friends, not Tommy. And she's the person that Joel killed everyone for her father and everyone. And then Abby yells, "You wasted your chance to live." And then we hear a gunshot, cut to black.
Yeah, this is the part that was...
So
I don't know why they ended this part like that.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, to me, this was kind of a weird cliffhanger because did they really think that we think she's dead?
Right.
Like
the only thing that's like done well that is very faithful to the story is Jesse running in real quick and just gets shot like very unceremoniously as he opens the door. Like that's very, so like I'm glad they kept that and done it and did it that way. Like yeah, Abby shoots him and he just but the rest of it's weird. But like the final scene after this I like, but just because it makes sense and to the structure of the game. But I mean I'm curious what you'll think of it. But yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, still talking about that one. Yeah. I mean, the whole thing. I mean, even the fact that she found them bothers me. Because, like, how did she find them that quickly?
Well,
but maybe we'll get that perspective,
right?
Because then, to your point, the last scene is then it's like 3 days earlier, and Abby's getting woken up, and she's at the base for the WF. In some big stadium, and it looks like they have like gardens and all that stuff. And someone's like, Isaac has summoned you. So it looks cool, so it looks like the start of season 3 would be like, oh, let's see Abby's perspective on this, which is a weird way to break it up. I think
it is.
So I don't know, but
that's how it is in the game too.
Do you play as Abby sometimes?
Yep.
Okay.
And it is weird because it does it also there, and it's doesn't jump around as much as you think it would. And I feel like for the TV show, it maybe should jump around more, because you're not playing as this person. So it's like, yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, like how much of Abby we'll get in season 3 versus Ellie. Because like Abby was barely in this season. That's because it was mainly we were following Ellie. But yeah, that is how it is in the game. You have a long section, you're playing as Ellie, and then a long section as Abby. Yeah.
Okay. Well, definitely was a weird way to end it, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
And as a whole, not as strong a season as season 1 was. Season 1 was great. Like a 9 out of 10. This maybe a 7. And that's might be a little generous.
Yeah, I don't know what I would.
It's definitely, so like it had the two episodes. Well, episode 1 wasn't bad. It felt like a good setup and reminder where we were. Episode 2 was strong.
Yep.
And then There's a couple in there. Nothing like, I mean, if you ask me right now, I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I kind of remember what happened. I think the best episode in there was then the episode where Jesse comes and saves them from all the the smarter, I don't know what stalkers, yeah. And then we briefly see the Seraphites like sacrifice it, and then she gets so I guess it was the one right before, so that would have been 5. So 5 wasn't too bad. So like 3 was pretty meh, and then the end was meh, and there's only 7. So like you,
yeah,
So yeah, it's weird because it is only 7 episodes, but on one hand it feels like a lot. It's been like drug out, some of it. It seemed like it took a while, but I don't know.
I don't know.
What do you think?
I don't know. I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to talk about anything like in the future with the story. But yeah, that's why I was curious what you thought about the final scene, because I understand it makes sense because it's going back to day 1. But now now you're with Abby in her base. But it's still, this is what I was this whole season. Like, I'm like, how are you going to end this and it be satisfying and making people like want to like really anticipate the next season?
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't really do a good job of that.
No. So we'll all forget when by the time season 3 comes around in like 2 years, it'll be like, yeah, I like this show.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. I will say though, like a lot of times when they add stuff though, it's been good.
Yeah.
Like we never see Joel and Tommy as kids, like, and that was awesome.
Yep, that all seems great.
Yeah. So
they added out.
It's not like everything's all bad in this. Like they make good decisions.
Yep.
And we've talked about before, first season, the stuff they've added was good as well.
Yeah.
So,
including a whole episode, right?
Yeah, that was a whole episode. Yeah.
But I mean, they had even the opening in the pilot. That whole thing was added. That opening scene with the old news anchor, right?
Oh no, that was new too, and that was awesome because I was like explaining, setting up so well, like explaining like, oh yeah, this will never happen, but if the climate gets warmer, and it goes into all the science of that. No, that was awesome. Because the game starts with Joel and his daughter. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the outbreak starts. Yeah.
Well, let us know what you thought of this last episode and the season as a whole.
Yeah.
Right in. Feedback at screentimepod.com. And next week we will be covering the first 3 episodes of Andor season 2. So we're going to cover them in those 3 episode blocks. And there's 12 episodes, so we'll do it kind of over 4 episodes of our podcast, even though it's all released now, but we didn't want to do both at the same time. So get Last of Us done. And
yeah, we were just talking about my girl, Asa Gonzalez, but then my other girl is in Andor. Adria Arjona. Mm-hmm. those are my two girls right now. But yeah, they both are getting real big.
What happened to what's her name in Ballerina?
Oh yeah, she's in there too. I was just talking about these 2 shows, but you're right. No, Ana de Armas is always there too, for sure. Yeah.
Well, we've got that movie coming up soon too.
Yeah, we do.
Cool. Well, if you anything you want to say or anything you want us to watch or cover or something, and you have a suggestion, let us know. Again, like I said, any thoughts about season 2 of Last of Us or this finale episode, let us know.
Let us know if you thought this was a good finale, because I'm curious how people are going to feel about this finale specifically.
Yeah, so email at feedback@screentimepod.com or leave a comment or DM. You can like and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. Of course, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, all Screen Time Pod. And if you like, you can follow each of us on Instagram. I'm at JYoungBar.
And I'm at Jared Youngbar.
All right. We'll catch you guys next time.